like there's so much evil in this world, and a man exposes it, and he's deemed the devil. Whereas somebody who's selling my phone number, my address, and all my information, my height, my weight, what I look like to corporations for a profit, got voted man for the year.
Yeah.
By Time. I mean,
but that just goes to show who's in bed with who. I mean,
it's very true.
Assange is outcasted from the U.S. and Zuckerberg's invited to the White House and talk with Obama about how much more we can spy on the general public and how much more information we can give. And that's my problem with this social media companies. And I said this on SW, and one of probably the few times I got serious is that people need to understand your product when you're talking about these social media companies. They don't have a product. The product is you. The product is your friends. The product is what you say, what pictures you put up, what moments, what memories, what things you talk about. Without you, the product, the person, these social media companies cease to exist. And I have a hard problem with, from an investment standpoint, from a business standpoint of how are these companies going to survive if all they're doing is just marketing to me based on what my likes and dislikes are in a private setting, not necessarily private, but a public setting, talking to my friends and talking to my family about who I am, where I live, where I go to school, where I vacation, and all these things. Basically, I'm opening up to these companies and saying, hey, come target me, and I'm going to give you all of the ammunition you need. But the last time I bought something off of a social media company from an advertisement standpoint was never. And my wife's on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, things like that, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. But I don't go there to shop. That's not where I go to buy things. And I guess there are people that do that. But once this, and that's why I think this Oculus Rift thing is such a terrible idea, is basically now you're saying, hey, I'm going to show you everything and give you all the information from a visual standpoint that helps you buy more things. Like, where's it going? And kind of going back to some of the backlash on this, I mean, you can go to the comments section of the Kickstarter, and for example, quote, 2 companies died with this announcement: Oculus Rift and Kickstarter. The rise and fall of Kickstarter. This is a backer that put in a couple $100. Another one, douchebag Oculus, raises $2.5 million on Kickstarter, immediately sells out for $2 billion to Facebook. I want to retract all positive statements about this project, unquote. So, man, this is the question is, if Oculus does decide, or the owners of Oculus or the founders or whoever, if they decided to launch another project or a quick Kickstarter or even out at all, are they going to get any kind of people attracted to this based on what they lost? Their goodwill is burnt.
If they have $2 billion in their pocket and they're going to get a whole lot of fuck you.
So
shit. So I mean, Hyle, what do you think about it all?
I think it's going to be it should be interesting. I think the Hermits have been pretty silent about it because this was like, the next thing in gaming. Now all of a sudden, like us on Facebook. So it could be quite interesting. I think some of the games, reading what they're saying, the game development is going to be separate, but I don't see how it could just be totally void of Facebook elements in there, because Zuckerberg didn't become $25 billion he's worth, something like that.
Something
by just going, okay. So I don't know.
So last ride, letting you jump in here. I think we got your mic fixed. Let me ask you this question: did Sony swoop in at the exact perfect moment in another string of amazing fortune for Sony of late to announce Project Morpheus, in essence, in the same 7-day period that Oculus Rift goes from being the crowning jewel of the future of gaming to being the basin of the toilet? Did Sony come in with Project Morpheus and steal all the thunder?
I mean, it was kind of coincidental, don't you think, with timing of the release of the Project Morpheus? But I think it was a perfect timing. I think they get a lot more goodwill than is getting now, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Heil, what do you think? I mean, you're the only guy. I mean, are you going to get Project Morpheus? If Project Morpheus and Oculus Rift come out on the same day for the same price, which one are you getting? That's a stupid question, isn't it, Heil?
I don't know. I don't like wearing the Rift headset at Comic Con. I just can't see wearing any type of headset like that for.
They smelled.
Yeah, for any particular forward, but there was a quote, from Yoshida. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
It says, we view innovation as an opportunity to build our mission to push the boundaries of play. Oh, yeah. Pushing the boundaries of innovation. That's what Sony's all about.
Oh,
Project
geez.
Morpheus is innovation from Sony. So, I don't know. It's not for me. So, I probably won't be buying it, no.
Well, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering when Sony's going to sell Morpheus to Amazon now that Oculus sold to Facebook, just so they can copy him.
Or when Microsoft's going to sell the Xbox brand to Amazon, right?
And the best part about all of this talk is that we're talking about a product that literally hasn't been released to the masses yet. Everybody's making a copycat. Everybody's doing something, putting their foot in the water to test the waters, and it's coming. I mean, that you're going to hear something about Amazon. You're going to hear something about, these big Google making something like that, or integrating it into Google Glass and everything else.
The reveal was pretty cool at, but I don't know. Would you guys wear? I mean, I wasn't sold on Rift anyway, so
Well, have you guys heard the official stance of Sony about Morpheus? I have to look this up where I read it. I think Giant Bomb. They were speaking to somebody at Sony, and it's a product that people have been working on, and they're not sure if it's going to be commercially available yet. To remember, a lot of things are revealed at GDC that just never come out.
Yeah.
Here's a little nugget you guys can read about the Innovate, but about.
If I may just say a little thing, okay.
Uh-oh, did we lose him again? Last ride, man. We lost you again, dude. And he's gone.
Like this image right here, this just is not. I mean, might as well be playing Connect. I mean, that is not.
You keep putting it in my chat, Heil, not the group chat.
What's that?
You keep putting it in my chat, not the group chat. That's all right. We can cut it out. It's
like
okay.
This does not look like something I'd want to be a part of. That's just not me. I guess I'm old school, but that just does not look.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back through System Wars and search every comment ever made about Move, and if Heil says one positive thing, I'm gonna call him out on it.
That picture needs to be posted on SW for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's classic.
Yeah, that's waiting to happen.
Morpheus does look nice. I like the look of this shit. I'm really into the look of it.
Oh, it definitely looks high tech, but I just can't see that being comfortable. Now, I don't mind holding the two controllers, but I want to play games, sit on my couch in front of my big TV. I don't want to be standing up and actually do work to play games.
Imagine all the photoshops I could do of you if you were holding two Move controllers.
But Rift was the same way. I mean, I put Rift on for like 5 minutes and couldn't stand the thing on me. For me personally, so
yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Roika? Would you use any of this Rift or this?
Other than the fact that the headset we tried on smelled like animal taint at Comic-Con, to me, like it's definitely interesting tech. I don't think I would buy anything but an HD version of it, and I think I would need to. Let me put it to you this way: I would not be. It would not be a day one. I would need to see that my experience with gaming is seriously augmented in some type of meaningful, immersive way for me to really be on board. So
I want to throw a thing over to KW, our resident Lemmy. Now, those would be pretty cool. Now, if they had that and you were playing, now can you imagine playing Titanfall with that, where you actually had the guns down and you're jumping into the mech and you can see everyone in front of you. You wouldn't like that either, or not?
So Microsoft is doing their own VR, AR. I think Fort Leza, I think, is the code name for it.
They name things after cities.
I have absolutely no interest in anything putting goggles on or another headset or. I like my big screen television. I like my surround sound, but I'm not gonna. But again, I'm from a different demographic. I've got 4 kids and a wife, and man, putting that thing on means I am completely and totally isolated and insulated from anything and everything in my home. So, and not
have
to
the wife coming over going, "What you looking at?"
Yeah, seriously. I mean, for those of you listening to the podcast, if you could see the picture that will be posted on SW with the Morpheus and the 2 move controllers in your hand, there's no way that's ever coming in my house. I don't care who makes it.
Even before I saw it, I mean, I'm a big Sony fan, but I have moved because I bought that for $10 from my friend, and I got the sports game came with it. So a few of those games are fun, but times, but I just don't like motion control games, and that's just not for me. Even though it's a Sony product and I'd like to support them, it would just sit there and collect dust, and it's probably going to be how much.
They haven't announced the price.
Well, I imagine it's going to be expensive.
It's at least got to be a couple hundred, and
$250 to $350 easily.
And that's not including the camera that's required, and that's not including if require the move controllers. It's not including that either. So you're looking at almost. I mean, add that up, you're almost looking at a cost of a PS4 at that point.
You are easily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's man, I just don't see this catching on, especially as a peripheral, knowing how they sell. Historically, and especially knowing how well or not well they aren't supported from a developer standpoint. So, man, I'm shocked.
So I'm gonna go a little stereotypical here, and I apologize for all our listeners. They already showed with the Rift in Japan some of the I don't know how I want to describe it, the sex type, anime type things that you can get with the Rift, and which would probably pick up. I mean, stuff that they've been doing over there, it would probably pick up well. So, I mean, is that like an angle, like Facebook, like meeting, like, I don't know, like meeting people instead of like actually going out of your house? Is you can stay in your basement, and I just
like wait, are you saying wait?
No, I can find that link. I can find the link they showed. Like it looked like the Japanese man man was like very much enjoying himself.
I know what you're saying.
I'm gonna find a picture now.
We're gonna do a video feature at Comic-Con 2014 where Animal Mother does Comic-Con speed dating. What I could imagine it now. Oculus speed dating.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what I can imagine is videos of like, college, douchebag friends like coming in and like telling their friend who's got the goggles on. Like remember all the videos when people were throwing their Wii controllers through the front of their television sets? I can totally picture, the kid that's sitting on his couch playing some type of really immersive games and his friend's just busting in the door and kicking the shit out of him before he can even realize what's going on. Like there's going to be a lot of those funny little clips come out.
Well, what was that movie where they are all jacked in virtually? Surrogates, and that that's just, man, I just can't believe that. But yeah, I guess I shouldn't be shocked.
Here's a headline from Gizmo: Oculus Rift turned into a working sex simulator. So here's what I was talking about. It was actually from a text. I was even searching for the shit, and this is what appears on my. So I don't know, with Facebook, I just don't see games. So
Jesus.
Sorry, Herb. But I think this is a serious blow, and I hope the games that you thought they would take advantage of it still get made and you can enjoy it. But I think with a social giant like Facebook, who's ad revenue driven and all about linking people, I think it's gonna be hard to keep that stuff out of your games.
I'm watching this in disbelief. This is, oh my gosh.
Oh Jesus.
It could sell millions. It could sell millions of systems. So who knows?
Is the last writer come back in, or is he still gone?
Yeah, I think he's still here.
Sex industry is huge.
I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can.
I don't know what happens to what is happening to my mic, but I'm still here.
Yeah. So last ride, as we close up this topic on, the Oculus Rift and Facebook and, Project Morpheus, I mean, give us your lasting impression. I mean, be sitting around playing video games in 5 years with these headsets on, and that's going to be the new way to experience this hobby? Or do you think this is a passing fad, like 3D TV or, even the motion controls? Like, what do you think? Is your
I think it's for the guys who are especially interested in stuff like this, but I don't know if it's for everyone. It could be for everyone.
We are having no luck with the last ride's mic tonight. But I think I knew what he was saying. So so then moving forward, then Heil, why don't you get us into our next topic? I think we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the games that have just come out.
Well, first we're deciding if KW2 is wearing pants.
Yeah.
I don't know.
KW,
Let's ask him. He's back.
KW, are you wearing on the floor is if you're wearing pants.
Oh, he's wearing pants.
Come on.
So
I'm not wearing
I
pants.
have my camera on.
So then Heil, then take us around the block here. I mean, we just got done with Oculus. 2 big games just came out over the last week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
With the first one that came out, since I haven't had a chance to play it. I finally got it installed a couple nights ago. I was on vacation and couldn't play it. So let's go to KW2. It's probably had some hours in it. We're gonna talk about Titanfall. What do you think so far?
I don't have to say too much about this game. It's awesome. I love it. I love playing it. I can jump in and out of the game when I want to. It's quick. It's everything that I want in a competitive first-person shooter as well. I mean, it's got balance. If you don't have a Titan, you don't feel like you can't defeat one and be competitive. You can still be competitive as a pilot or in the Titan. So it's a great. I mean, for those of you who haven't played it, definitely go out and try it. It's easy to do, but yet has a level of complexity and strategy that as long as you practice a while, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I mean, there's no better feeling than dropping a Titan on someone. there's no better feeling in gaming. Yeah, I know Animal was completely turned off.
I own Titanfall. You're right. When you say the level of complexion, like the thing is, like, you're right, because it has the verticality to it and hanging on walls and the stuff with the Titan. Like I just can't think of Titanfall as a very well made, well polished game. I can't think of it as too much of a complex game. But it's a very tightly fine-tuned game. It's like awesome.
Huh.
So what issues have you had with it so far, KW? Since the launch, have the servers been good and all that?
Servers have been. Let's just say this: the last competitive first-person shooter I played was BF4, and if I could unbuy it, I would. Unfortunately, I purchased it digitally, so it is. There's definitely been times where the servers have been some slowdown here and there, but you just never know. You never know if that's your internet connection or if that's the servers themselves. But other than that, I mean, that's few and far between from a experience standpoint. Whenever I want to get on, I can get on, and they still need to work on lobbies and things like that. To be able in private games and things where because they only have the what is it 5 modes I think within the game that you can choose from. You can't do a custom map or anything like that, or a custom game. So those are things that I think will come down the pike. But so far I'm loving the game. I haven't got enough of it and I play it every day.
No.
So what about do they get the chat and friends? I haven't really experienced any of that yet either.
Yeah, so with the update, the chat and friend system's pretty. It's pretty easy to get in and out of now. So all I need to do is do a quick right trigger, and I can invite friends. I can do my party and get into a game as well. So it's the update that Microsoft made prior to Titanfall coming out helped to alleviate.
So Animal, I watched you play it on Twitch the other day. I watched you play for a good 15 minutes. I mean, are you feeling the same way about the game? Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, Titanfall's very good. It's kind of an enigma to me. It's really it's such a tight package. It's just a really tight game, and I can't say anything bad about it because it looks great, it runs great. I've only had server troubles once, and even then it only lasted about 5 to 10 minutes. And the shooting is just it's I don't want to say rewarding, but it's gratifying. Like holding a gun and shooting, and even on the PC, it's really tight, it's really fast. It's not faster than Call of Duty, but it's not slower than Call of Duty. It's right in the middle. And, having Titans fall and all that jazz is just really awesome. I have a nice 27-inch IPS monitor, and every time I get into a Titan and those 3 walls close, it's awesome. It really makes you feel like, holy shit, like I'm in a giant robot kicking some serious ass right now.
So do you play with a mouse or do you play with the controller?
I play mouse and keyboard. Hold on one second. I'll be. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So I might have another question too for like new players like me. The game's been out, so I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Am I guys can completely owned KW, or is that pretty?
No, the matchmaking is good. You're not going to be matched up with a bunch of Gen 2s or Gen 3s in the game when you first come on, so you will be matched up. The matchmaking is definitely on point. And if you are matched up with a Gen 2 or Gen 3 using Gen 3s on your team, and they'll probably have a first level or second level person on the other team as well. So
for us Titanfall newbies, what is the Gen 2, Gen 3? What's that mean?
Yeah, so Gen 2, Gen 3, once you've gone through the game and for the first time through and gotten to level 50, then you will eventually reach to generation 2, where you'll kind of start all over with everything. You'll keep all of your Titans, but you will lose all of your weapons and things like that. So you'll be starting over with just the rifle again, without any scopes or without anything like that. So, but that's what Gen 2 and Gen 3. So once you get to Gen 2, then there's another set of objectives that you'll have to hit in order to get to Gen 3. So for example, I saw people that were in Gen 8. And I think Gen 8 is where it's maxed out, I believe, or Gen 10, one of the two. But once you get to that level, then it's completely maxed for the game. You've done pretty much everything in the game itself. They'll have certain objectives where you've got to punch a pilot out of the air in your Titan 50 times in order to get to a certain level.
That's hard.
It is super difficult. But that's again, punching a pilot out of the air is probably, again, one of the most gratifying things in the game you can do.
I want to make a promise to KW. KW, I know I said I was going to buy an Xbox One. Unfortunately, I didn't have the. I had the funds too, but I had surgery, so I had more important things to pay for. This is a promise. I
hate that you have that controller.
You know what it is? I'm waiting for the official Microsoft's driver support for this, but this is a promise to you. I am a gamer, and that logic is my steed, and that I will one day own an Xbox One.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
They bought a PS4 first, and then Sony domination continuation.
But we're gonna have to talk about that. We can't skirt around that forever.
No, so let's get into the other big release.
What the fuck is going on? Oh.
Well, let's get into the other big game of the release week here, infamous Second Son. Now, Heil, I'm going to direct this to you. What's your impressions of Second Son? I mean, did it live up to the expectations?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I only got to play that for like a couple hours too, so I know you got a lot further than me, Roka, but I thought it looks awesome. I mean, the effects of the character, I think, are awesome. How his clothes and like especially his jacket flow, just little things like that bring him like so realistic. And then people were knocking the lighting, and I thought the lighting was awesome. I remember going to a parking ramp, and I was on a rail, and the sun was in my background. Not only my shadow real time, not pre-baked, my real-time shadow was on the side of me, but it was also down the stairs on the wall in front of me, real time, not pre-baked. And I don't see how shadows can get better than that. I'm talking about you. What the hell is his name? I forgot his name. The other limb. Who do we have on here?
Oh,
before?
Sean.
Sean 30.
Not Sean.
Oh, Foxbat.
Oh, Foxbat.
Foxbat. He was saying that it's absolutely stunning. It's fluid. I haven't come across any slowdowns. I don't know what frames per second it runs, but it's absolutely gorgeous game.
The game looks gorgeous, though.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, listen to the
Holy
last
shit.
ride. It's like a whole new world. It's finally a podcast.
Yeah, I was kicking over him. He hasn't said much of his podcast. So, have you Plus right?
No, I haven't gotten around to it, but it's definitely on my list. Getting.
Do you have a PS4 now? Do you own one?
Yeah, I got it at launch here in Europe. So
you don't have a fucking. You don't have Infamous? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just have a such a big
cool.
backlog.
Don't be embarrassed to just say it's an average game. It's okay.
You know what, Kate, I'll actually speak to that because if there's anyone here that's gonna naysay Sony exclusive, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be you after you praised it to me.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. I was gonna say that I'm actually really pleasantly surprised by the gameplay in Infamous Second Son, and I'd say that if I'll be the first to tell you that like the gameplay in like Uncharted to me is like lackluster. I know Hyle's probably sharpening his blade with me saying that, but sharpening as many katana blades. But I really think that what the Sucker Punch's greatest achievement in this game, as much as the game looks beautiful, and as much as they really did set up some really fun encounters and environments, and Seattle looks beautiful and all the other stuff. Their crowning achievement in this installment of that franchise is that it's the most fluid Infamous game to play. It is the most fun Infamous game to play. I know Animal and I were differing a little bit the other day, where he thought that Infamous 2 was still a little bit more fun, but I think we both commonly agree that the fluidity of gameplay and what's kind of at your fingertips at all times is very, very satisfying.
Yeah, climbing the Space Needle was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's a tight game.
They really did well by what the PS4 presents, and it's definitely one of those games that they use the thumb pad kind of interestingly. It doesn't add any type of extra layer of immersion, but it is kind of neat to swipe your finger across the lot of things, turning the controller to the side and shaking it and hearing it rattle, like spray paint can.
I'm a fucking idiot. For the first 4 times I spray painted, literally you have to hold because they have, I guess, the gyroscope or whatever. You have to shake. I know.
You're pretty good at that, Animal.
Yeah,
he's a pro.
You have to shake the PS4 controller like this until the bar fills up, and then it says spray paint. I was holding down the right trigger, spray painting like the PS4 controller was a fucking can, like a fucking fool. And I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I was holding it like a goddamn can. And I said to myself, no, it's easier to hold and just go up. I was going,
Well, no, Animal, I'm not gonna pretend to be Mr. Know-It-All, because I definitely fucked it up too. I'm moving the thumbsticks, going, how come that circle? And occasionally it would slide a little bit, and I'm like, maybe what am I doing wrong? But yeah, you're supposed to just aim the move light bar at it. So you only turn it to the side for a second, shake it real quick, and then shake it all over the place.
And one thing I've missed is the traveling system. They added, I don't know, later on in the game you guys could probably answer. It won't be a spoiler, but in Infamous 2, you could ride the rails with a power where you just basically were a conduit of the railways. The same with the power lines, so you could basically like skateboard on power lines, and you could take the rail. You have smoke powers this time, so
that was his power, electricity. So
yeah,
you could grind on the rail.
I kind of missed that way of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
He can do double dashes and get quite far.
Yeah,
but
Heil, in only a couple. I mean, I guess I don't know what I'm giving away here, but I do this. Blab, cover your ears. I mean, there's going to be a point in the near future where you can unlock unlimited neon. So you can, game anyways, I unlocked unlimited neon. So when I press circle and get into neon, I literally could do it around the whole city infinitely. It's almost like it's almost like a get out of jail free card. I know you and I were talking the other day, but the game is actually quite difficult. Like there's some pretty difficult scenes and scenarios they put you in where you're basically, you know, popping fire and then trying to flee before you get completely teabagged by everybody. But you know, it's one of those games that as you build up your powers, you start to feel overpowered. I wouldn't say overpowered. I think they did a good job balancing, but you definitely have so many different things at your disposal that there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of opportunity to clear scenarios. You never feel cheated, I guess, and a little bit maybe in those first couple hours where you feel like you just don't have, you know, the energy or whatever to get through it. But after you really break into some of those powers and start leveling up, I mean, my God, the game is so fun to play.
Particle effects, man. Those particle effects.
Agreed. It's a really, and I've been a little bit of a naysayer of the Infamous franchise, and but I will say that Infamous Second Son is they really did well by their fans in that game. I think that it's a good launching point to next gen Infamous. Before we get off of this topic, what do you think of? And I guess I'll aim this at either Animal or Heil, because I don't think The Last Ride and KW have played it yet. But narrative wise, Delsin wise, do you like him as a character?
I do. I think.
I see you guys.
I lost Heil for a second. Oh, Heil got lost.
Okay, I'm still here.
Yeah, Heil?
I got dropped for a little bit. It came back.
Okay.
Heil, you go first.
I thought he was a fine character. Again, it takes a lot for me to hate a video game character because I really don't think about it too much. Like, people may cry. Dante and that, and I thought he was fine. I thought he was actually pretty cool. So, this guy is, I don't see, I mean, he has some, like, Hiroki and I were talking about, he has some cheesy one-liners, but what video game character doesn't?
Right.
I mean, I don't think he's like Emu or, I don't know.
Emu?
Emu.
Like the animal?
So you call him here in the Midwest.
The other thing too is that I think, you know, in the context of video game narrative, which we've gone over with several guests before about, you know, we're not, you know, without getting into a long diatribe about video game narrative, you know, the game at its core is a superhero game. I mean, you're talking about a game that has traditionally been told narrative-wise through basically what have turned out to be comic strip storytelling. And I think there's part of me that would be disappointed in that world if they went ultra realistic with Delsin. I think that the fact that he's kind of almost like a little bit of a more hip Scooby-Doo character in a way is, and he is. I mean, he kind of is. He's a little bit more of he's like a Hanna-Barbera superhero in a way. And my irritations, and these are very small, but like, he got his powers 5 minutes ago, and he's claiming like political injustice, you know, political correctness with please don't call us bioterrorists. We're called conduits. Like he all of a sudden has this deep-seated, you know, affinity for other conduits and you know the way that they're perceived in the world, having only had the powers for 30 seconds. So there's definitely some cheese drizzled all over that story. But shit, man, I'll take a cheesy story all day of the week if the game is that fun to play, and it is that fun to play.
You guys know me. I'm willing to attest for a lot of video game stories.
Hey,
I ham it up. While I think Infamous Second Son is a really fine-tuned game and really great, I don't like the fact that they grounded it more in reality, calling them bioterrorists and what have you. I liked the comic book nature where it was like, you know, it was batshit crazy, and you know, Cole was kind of an asshole because of all the shit that had happened to him, and the cover you're done, you little bitch. Spoiler, if you haven't played Infamous, it's 4 years old now, get over it. You know, Cole travels back in time to teach himself to be a superhero, and that made the first game really cool, that there was this really heavy comic book element, and it was really drizzled all throughout the game. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying the bottom line to me is I love open world games. It takes a lot.
Yeah, I like the
open
game.
world games. It might not be jumping in cars and shooting guns, but the city is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy the game.
Quit your bitching, Animal.
Oh my god, I just love that really thick layer of comic book, like really. Well, I can't say bright colors because he has fucking neon, but like
It's as bright as it gets.
I know, right?
What else?
Like,
what other games are we gonna talk about? So we talked about Titanfall and
Dark Souls. Well, I want to.
Can
Sorry, I'm gonna Ringo it. I wanna get Matt on the podcast again and talk about Dark Souls 2. It's a very good game.
Well, go ahead. I mean, Dark Souls 2 was a huge release. This way. I mean, did KW? Did you get Dark Souls 2? Do you play the Dark Souls games?
I have not played a Dark Souls game ever. So that I know it's a gaming faux pas on my part for sure. But no, I've been wrapped up either in Titanfall or I've been playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare.
Nice. And Last Ride, do you play the Souls games?
I have Demon Souls on from PS Plus, but I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, I will say I want to hear what Animal's take is on Dark Souls 2, especially in how it compares to Dark Souls, especially in a lot of the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics. But I'm kind of with you guys. And Heil, I know you and I have chatted about this. I'm not sure. I know Willie's on our call right now. I don't know if he plays the Souls games, but actually he does. I saw him online the other day playing Dark Souls. But stalker Willie. But I have always been the type that's like, I'm never gonna play the Souls games. Why would I want to play a game that's gonna get me frustrated?
You crumbled in a day.
I did one. It took one day to play Dark Souls to realize the genius in these games. And in all honesty, I am fucking hooked. In fact, I played Infamous Second Son all day. Now we're talking about a legit next gen game, like beautiful. I got to a point when I was playing it where I'm like, I need to shut this shit off and go upstairs and play more Souls, because it's that good. I mean, every encounter is that exciting, and every little bit of ground that you make up in these games, like, I get it now. I get why the formula is so popular.
Or boss battles you die to when I'm trying to fucking help you.
Well, come on, dude. Animal drags me to the top of a building. Listen, playing co-op on Dark Souls with Animal is like, he's like this tank that runs in front of you and goes, just follow me. and you get to the boss fight, and I'm sitting there fucking spamming arrows at these huge mega griffin things, and Animal's rolling around, and he's slashing at everything, and he's like, just stay in the corner. And then these griffins, they come over in the corner and start hacking away.
I said stay back, and I didn't say stay in the corner. I said stay back.
I did stay back, and they
in the corner. You never stay in a corner.
Hey, you know what his answer is? I yell out to him, Animal, just tell me what to do. What am I supposed to do? What is the tactic here? He's just like, nothing. Just shut up. Just stay out.
Well, that's not satisfying. You're not really. I mean, if he's
well, no. I mean, here's
a lesson in frustration.
Here's the thing, though, Heil. It is a lesson in frustration if you're an impatient person, but if you're patient, if you grasp on to that really razor sharp gameplay and understand like the progression of it and the saving of the souls and spending them in the right way and slowly kind of building up a character, while also simultaneously discovering new little areas throughout. You do really quickly grasp onto why that game got a 9.5 and why it's so beloved amongst core gamers. So I'll say it to you three. I mean, if you get a chance to play, if I know they always sell it on Steam for $4.99 now. The what's the name of the edition on
Prepare to Die edition?
Prepare to Die edition for $4.99. It's $5. You will absolutely get $5 worth out of the gameplay, even if you play it for one day and say, okay, I think I'm done. I guarantee you'll like the game.
Souls franchise has been really, how do I say this? Dark Souls came out, believe it or not, when did Dark Souls come out? 2000 and
Souls or Dark Souls?
No, Demon Souls.
Demon Souls was it the game of 09? Yeah.
Yeah. I was 21 when I got Dark Souls. 5 years have passed. It started out, I heard about Demon Souls and how it was going to be this cult game and how it was going to be really hard and roguelike. And I bought it, and the thing is, you grow as a gamer every day, especially with games like the Dark Souls or Rogue Legacy or any type of roguelike game. And I didn't get Demon Souls at first, and I never did. I didn't get Dark Souls until I went back and played it a year later, the Prepare to Die edition, when I played through the game and I got every hook, I got every ladder, I defeated almost every boss. And then once I learned all the stuff I needed to learn, Prepare to Die edition, Dark Souls 2 just latched its hooks into me. You just know every single facet of the game. They did change some things up, parrying.
What did they change for those people that maybe have played Dark Souls but haven't bought Dark Souls 2? Like, I mean, is there?
Well, some of the combat's different. You have a poison. That affects the rate which you take items or use Estus flasks. I think that's your. Excuse me.
Ew, God.
Oh my God. I think that's your poise. So that determines how fast you drink your Estus flasks, how fast the Estus flasks heal. And the thing is, in Dark Souls, when you run out of stamina, you're kind of just stuck for like a frame or two.
Yeah.
Like when you're attacking, and finally you've run out, and you kind of come back a little bit slowly. Now you have like 3 or 4 frames where your character, if you block and you run out of stamina, they wait there for a second, and you're opened up to the enemies just to go boom, boom, boom. There's a shield break now, so you can keep kind of almost shield bashing enemies.
Yeah.
So you can break them and kind of get like a big attack on them. The bonfires are different. The Estus flasks are different. You get the Estus flask at the beginning of the game. The cool way they do it now is you find Estus flask shards, so you no longer have to kindle a specific item on one bonfire in order to build up 10, 15, 20 Estus flasks, because everything's centralized to one bonfire in Majula, which is really nice. Fast travel is right off the bat. You can burn human effigies. You can burn to not get invaded as much. Souls, you can reallocate those. And of course all the Dark Souls stuff is back. Going to specific merchants for someone using certain boss souls in order to forge specific weapons. And it's a really tight game. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, about 24 hours in now. And the thing I never did with the Souls games was I never played them socially. Like, how you're probably undead most of the time in Dark Souls?
Yeah.
I use my effigies for boss fights all the time. And the cool thing is you can bring 2 people in on a boss fight now. So it kind of levels the playing field with these fucking really tough as shit bosses. And the game is just really tight package. It's really awesome. And for those people, it runs a lot better than Dark Souls, which is saying a lot, because have you gotten to Blighttown yet?
I went down. That's the one where the
frame rate drops to 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
It runs a lot smoother. There aren't many hiccups. I agree the graphics were downgraded, but a developer wouldn't go through all that time to show a game to trick people about graphics or downgrade the game, Maybe at the expense of hardware, they had to tune down the game a bit in order to say, listen, we could have this run like Dark Souls where it runs a variable 15 to 30 frames a second, or we can have it run 25 to 30 frames a second constantly,
Yeah, and I don't. It's not even a game that you really even care about the graphics. I mean,
it's all about the gameplay.
It really is. And Animal, just to close this up on Dark Souls, you had sent me over, a link to a mod that really tightens the graphics up, makes the textures look gorgeous, and I was starting to get just a few. I mean, I don't have graphic intensive, PC, but to slow down just a little bit, and I went in almost immediately and erased all contents of the mod because I would so have the reaction time to a particular
that's
fight.
How Dark Souls is
Exactly. It's like everything else goes out the window. You just want to be like sure that you're not going to get your ball bag handed to you by some fucker around a corner.
No,
so,
that'll happen like another 1,000 times.
Yeah. So moving forward, let's you guys want to close this up with kind of what we're playing now, or do you want to jump into another topic? I know we wanted to talk real quick.
One more topic.
You have a topic?
I have a topic.
All right.
What the fuck is and KW is gonna love me for this. I see him smiling. I see him smiling. What the fuck is going on at SWWS, Sony Worldwide Studios? One, with all those developers.
Yeah, you mean the fact that what we lost in our last ride?
Six people have left.
Yeah, we lost.
I mean, aside from layoffs, I know KW, but we've lost 6 people. Somebody has put it into perspective on Reddit, but I also, KW, I put shit into logic that he can't stand. And I'm hoping this is the number 6. Don't do drugs, kids. What's going on? What does everybody think? Heil, what do you think's going on? Heil? He's probably
rubbing one out. Last ride. You brought this up to me earlier too. What do you think? I mean, you had mentioned we lost Amy Hennig, we lost
Jack Trenton, and a bunch of Seth Killian, who worked there for what, 2 years?
Yep.
I didn't know who he was.
He was working on Drive Club, wasn't he?
Oh, the Drive Club guy.
No, that wasn't Seth Killian. People started posting this on System Wars. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, I saw it on System Wars and on some more articles online.
So what do you think, Last Ride? Is Sony a shitty place to work, like me and KW think it is?
No, I don't know. We just have to wait to see, because I mean, they could just be reworking stuff because they are having trouble, because the company is doing so hot. So
yeah,
maybe that's why.
KW, what about you, my man?
I mean, so they're definitely restructuring, but and the way that this all first started out was, hey, Sony's having financial trouble. Okay, no big deal. Every trouble, every company goes through this. Every company goes through some kind of turmoil every now and then. Then it was like, then I said, okay, well, it's gonna affect game development. No, that's Sony's beloved sacred cow. That's never gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. Now we're seeing that game development is being hampered by the overall financial problems of Sony. You're seeing game developers leaving. You're seeing big time people, and I'll tell you the big 3 for me. One is Jack Trenton leaving without, and granted his contract was up, but man, mission is not accomplished over at Sony. They are on an upswing, that's for sure, but they definitely have a much larger hill to climb with a lot more steps here. Number 2 for me leaving was Amy Hennig. Her being a super talented person and proven what she can do. There might have been someone else that came in for Uncharted, but man, why kick her out the door? Why not let her take on another project or do something different? It's not like they don't need more games on the PlayStation 4. Number 3 is now the gamer for Uncharted 4. Now he's gone too. So now we've big players that aren't just nobodies. They aren't just people that have been there a year or 6 months. I don't really about those folks, the year and 6 months people. I get that, but those are the 3 big ones, with Jack Trenton really being the biggest one. And I just feel like they couldn't come to an agreement on this guy's contract, and we'll see what here in probably about 20 or 30 days, when all of the financial information for Sony gets reported to the street, really where they're at. Mm-hmm. And that's when we're really going to get a much bigger picture. But to say that there's not something behind all of this, I think it's kind of naive. I've been laid off at companies. I've been at big companies, but I haven't seen this much turmoil since in a long time.
So 343 is in dire straits because people left them, and the person
four people in 6 months.
Four people in 6 months, and the
I won't disagree with 343. I think there's something to that too. These are mainstays. Why are people leaving companies like 343, like Sony, like Santa Monica, like all of these are, and like Naughty Dog? I mean, these are big time developers that are on the cusp of making big time games, and they can't keep people.
Well, I think there's also could be a pressure cooker situation or creative differences too. That,
Mark Whitten did also quit. He's been at Microsoft for 14 years, so it's not only Naughty Dog and Sony. So.
Yeah,
I won't disagree with the Mark Whitten leaving either. I think he left for a better job, to be quite honest. But
it might have been because he wanted the Xbox job.
It just seems like there's a lot of people leaving everywhere.
You're cornered now, KW. You are cornered now.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, and not to jump in on you guys, but there's a lot to be said too for the timing in consideration to where the generation is. The generation, for all intents and purposes, just launched. I mean, these could be decisions that these people have had rattling around in the back of their head for several years and saying, we just want to get through, maybe these people have had aspirations of extending their careers elsewhere for several years, and it's just coincidental that it's happening now after the new generation has officially started, and these people are saying, okay, it's time for me to bow out.
And we saw some of this as well with the 360 and the PS3.
Jay Allard.
Launch. Jay Allard, you had Peter Moore, you had Ken Kutaragi get out of Sony. So I mean, everybody, this could be correct. This could be just, hey, it's the shuffle generation. It's always this how it always happens. Just get used to it. It just all seems kind of off kilter to me from a Sony.
I want to say something that your league brother said to you. Sean said to me, well, Sony's such in financial dire straits, and let's not paint a picture. Listen, we all know that they're having trouble. He goes, well, Microsoft acquired a VR dev team or whatever for 150 million, right? I have to fact check that. But what did Sony purchase last year? Can anyone tell me Sony purchased something? It's coming out. It's called PS Now. What did it start as?
Gaikai.
And how much did they buy it for?
I don't know. How much did they pay
for that? They bought it for $340 million. So for him to say, oh, Microsoft's buying shit, and they bought the Gears of War franchise, but Sony's canceling games and shit, right? All right, there are two canceled games. Well, there are two. First off, we don't know how many games were canceled.
Yeah, that we know.
One that was canceled and two that have really been pushed back. The Last Guardian, which I think is vaporware at this point, and Drive Club. God knows what's going on there. And again, like I'll tell you,
we had two projects. One where Sony guys were laid off, and Santa Monica where this
that we know of.
That we know of.
Yeah.
But then he's telling me Sony games are being canceled left and right and whatnot. I have a question. Was Black Tusk Studios for Microsoft, owned by Microsoft, were they working on their own original IP announced at E3? Please, remind me.
I don't know.
They were, because there was a Black Tusk game announced at E3.
Yeah.
And Microsoft canceled it for Black Tusk to work on Gears of War. So don't tell me Sony is canceling shit left and right when Microsoft is doing the same power plays. Microsoft may be buying companies, but Sony's buying companies as well. You have both sides of the coin, and that's why I get on these.
As long as Naughty Dogs.
You're not on the. You're not.
Isn't closing, then I'm okay. I think people are changing. I mean, the founders of BioWare, Greg and what was it? Whose name?
Greg and Ray.
Yeah.
Greg and Ray both left. The founders of BioWare. Now we just think that
BioWare
Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 4 are just going to suck because the two founders, the people that created the company. So yes, I mean it is weird. I will say that, or I don't know, not weird is probably not a good word. It is
coincidence.
A bad.
I'm not saying,
it could. Well, I can see where it looks bad. How about that?
Yeah.
But I don't. As long as the doors remain open and I just posted the jobs that Naughty Dogs are looking at, it's a huge list. I don't know. I think there's gonna be players there that hopefully to continue to make quality games. That's what I care about. I don't care about the personnel. If they can, I don't know.
Yeah, but can you lure talent in the face of going broke as a company?
Well, no, you can lure talent in the face of
Naughty Dog
talent's resumes. Look at Naughty
Dog's not going broke.
So how is the relationship? What is the relationship then with Sony and Naughty not owned by
the
Sony.
publisher.
Subsidiary.
They're a dedicated third party.
Subsidiary.
They are.
Yes.
I don't remember ever reading
I don't
that.
think that.
No, they are. Hold
Somebody
on, let me
fact check
pull this up.
Animal, quick.
Hold on, I'm fact checking this. Look, here's the Wikipedia.
Well, in either case, I mean, Naughty Dog is only making games for Sony platforms, and we know that.
Yeah, Naughty Dog. This is on Naughty Dog's website. Naughty Dog became a wholly owned subsidiary by Sony Computer Entertainment.
As long as we get Uncharted 4 in the next.
You're going to get Uncharted 4. That's a guarantee. But the question will be is, will you get Uncharted 4 first, or will you get The Last of Us HD edition and the God of War HD edition prior to getting all of those games? I don't know. Who knows?
Same with 343, brother. What are you gonna get first, Halo Anniversary or Halo?
I am not a fan. I am not a fan of all of these HD remixes for my brand new $500 system that sits with games underneath my TV. I want new IP. So I'm looking forward to Sunset Overdrive. I'm looking forward to what's the other one that's coming out this year? Quantum Break. I'm looking forward to those two games because they're new IPs.
What worries me just a little. I mean, I know those games are gonna come out, but they haven't given any type of time frame for these. Hopefully it's at
hopefully E3 clears up some of that cloud. Yeah, but that's not really my point. My point is I don't want to see these HD remix games,
I see what you're saying.
especially ones that have just come out within a year of everyone playing them. It's a cash grab.
It's a cash grab. I think it's also trying to fill a gap for people that play those games to get them at full price on the next gen console systems.
But you just brought up Dark Souls to me. I haven't played Dark Souls. Where can I buy it? I can buy it on Steam for $4.99 or $5.99.
What are we saying? I don't know what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is I don't want old games that I can get somewhere else, like the HD, like the improved 1080 60 frames per second. That's not an enticing selling point for me to go out and get that game.
Exactly. You're 100%
when you have GameFly, though, it's great because I just played Tomb Raider on the one actually because the PS4 version was, of course, all out because there's so many more PS4s in the wild. But they sent me the ones, and I had fun playing. I already beat it on computer. I own it on computer.
It was a good HD port. It was really.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but would we rather want stuff like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition or HD versions?
Well, I
want new IP.
I want new IPs, but those will.
All right, cancel Mass Effect 4. We don't want it.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Hey, guess what though? The best part about Mass Effect 4 and the reason why I'm still excited for another Mass Effect is because
Garrus is going to be in it.
No, because Garrus is not going to be in it. I'm going to have a new person to, worship from the Mass Effect universe. But no, seriously, I mean, I think that the way that Mass Effect 4 seemingly is from what all of that's been leaked out or what's been admitted by developers, the developers has been the most positive thing about it is the fact that they're telling a brand new story in that beautiful universe that is rich with stories to be told. So I'm with KW on that.
The big universe.
Yeah, and I'm with KW in the sense that as much as remakes can be fun, I've heard that BioWare is considering doing Knights of the Old Republic remake. I'll be all over that. I mean that game is 2 generations old. It's easily my top 5 favorite video games of all time, if not my favorite video game of all time. So for me, a game like that being remastered makes sense to me. I play it on PC every once in a while, but I'd love to see that come back to But I don't need I didn't go out and buy Tomb Raider. I was going to, and then I kind of it was $60. I said, you know what, I'm just not going to do it. And I feel the same way, to be perfectly honest with you, about The Last of Us. I've been playing through The Last of Us over the past couple of weeks, and it's an absolute stunning game. I don't necessarily need to play it just for a little bit of a better graphics, resolution or frame rates. The game is already stunning enough as it is. I'd rather somebody sink resources into giving me something new.
All right, I have to own KW one more time. KW, do you have your butthurt cream?
Let's.
Wait,
What do you have?
no,
What do you have to say, Animal? What do you have to say?
Hold on.
Spit it out,
All right,
Animal.
so E3's in about 2 months, right?
Yep.
Give or take.
Can't wait.
All right. I know you like to talk about waiting a lot and delays. You like to talk about, Drive Club being delayed and tell PlayStation owners just to wait for it. You know what I found out, because I like to thoroughly research? Sony